thank you to all those who did view my last video. I got quite a lot of views, and also to those who subscribed. I really appreciate that, and I hope that you enjoyed this video as well, and that you might remain a subscriber. I just want to say a big thank you to my dear friend, Bridget from AZ. So without you, Bridget, I don't know how I would have gone, if I ever would have got this YouTube channel up and running without your encouragement. So a big thank you to you and all the support you gave me. I also want to thank those who left comments, because the comments have been very encouraging to give it a go, try again and do another one. And I hope that everybody got their replies. I tried to reply to everybody. And yeah, as I say, it was a great surprise to see the response, and I thank you so much. And thank you also to the people who gave me the little thumbs up for a like. As you can see, you might have noticed that I have a few other supporters with me here today, and you know who I'm talking about. I'm talking about this fellow here, Teddy, and this Teddy, and this Teddy. So I told them that they're allowed to join in and sit quietly, and if they misbehave, they'll have to be taken out and put to bed. So they're trying to be very good. You'll be very good, won't you? So that you can stay there. And honestly, they don't ever repeat any gossip or anything like that. So the subject that is going to be discussed is family estrangement. That the Jehovah's Witness term for estrangement is being disfellowshipped, and I thought I'd tell you a little bit of my life as a Jehovah's Witness regarding that, because it has affected our family so much. And this is in regards to the two older ones, which obviously they grew up. They're about 2 or 3 years, probably 2 years apart, and they grew up together. So, so it's kind of a sad story as far as I'm concerned. So my older sister, when my mother first became a witness, she was 14. She loved the Jehovah's Witness religion, and she flourished. And she met a man and went on to get married, and a man who was dedicated also to the religion, and he's now an elder. So the next sister down, she got married in 1968. They both got married in 1968, and the second sister got married in December 1968. And she actually had gotten baptized, but she got baptized into the witness religion because that's just what everybody was doing. She didn't really take to the religion. She really did like the Catholic religion, actually. She went to a Catholic school until Mum became a witness and things like that. So she told me that she always did like the Catholic religion, and then she met a Catholic man eventually, after she'd been baptized. And she got married to him, and she was disfellowshipped for being married in the Catholic Church. And I only was speaking to her recently, a couple of months ago, and something that my dear sister never knew. I remember I was very young. I was only about 8, and I remember little bits about it. And we were standing outside the church, and my sister arrived with my father, and they went into the church, obviously down the aisle, and my mother and all the other sisters, none of us went into the church. We weren't allowed to go into the church. So we stood outside waiting for her to come back out. And I remember that as a child. And when I was talking to my sister about this a couple of months ago, until that moment, she said, I never knew that, Wendy. She never knew that her own mother did not come into the church, her mother and her sisters, but especially her mother. She never knew that Mum didn't see her get married down with the marriage service. And she was very shocked at that. And so anyway, she was disfellowshipped. And now when you think about somebody doing something wrong, not that that was wrong, as far as she was concerned, she was happy. And but say you do something wrong, you might get punishment for a certain amount of time. Even if you break the law, you might get punishment for a certain amount of time, whether it's a short amount of time, a couple of months or a few years, may even be a life sentence of 20 years or 25 years. But can you believe that my poor sister has had to endure this lifelong sentence of 51 years of being estranged from her older sister? And obviously growing up together, they should have enjoyed their life together, especially now as they're getting older. They're in their 70s, and so they were estranged because of this disfellowshipping. And my older sister took it very seriously. And apart from maybe if they have met up at a family funeral or, something to do with medical situations, they haven't had a relationship. So anyway, around about probably nearly 2 years ago, when the witnesses brought out the brochure for Return to Jehovah, my older sister actually contacted my other sister, my second older sister, and rang her on the phone, and she didn't even know. She said to me, I don't even know how she got my phone number. But she rang her and asked if she could please post this special brochure to her. So my sister was happy to hear from the older sister and excited to hear from her, and said, yes, that'll be fine. And so she received the Return to Jehovah brochure in the mail with a letter explaining it. And so my second older sister wrote back, wrote a nice letter, and she told me that out of respect for the other sister, she did read the whole brochure. And so she put her letter in with the brochure back to the oldest one's address, and explained that she had read the whole brochure. And because my sister was going to a different church, she said, here's a brochure from my church. I think it was like a sort of a daily text type book. And she sent that with a letter and said, now that we're getting older, it would be lovely to meet up for a cup of coffee in the city, so that they both just go halfway, and because they both live on different sides of the city. And so meet up in the city, have a cup of coffee, and catch up after all these years. That my older sister, according to my other sister, I don't have any reason to not believe her, has never contacted her. She never even wrote back to her to say, look, thank you for your brochure. I did receive your letter. Unfortunately, I'm not able to meet with you. She didn't acknowledge my other sister in any way. And I've told my sister that I really can't believe that it's to that extent, that she wouldn't have the courtesy at least to just to acknowledge that she did receive the letter and brochure back. Even if she said, look, unfortunately, I'm not able to read that. But just an acknowledgement to say that she had received it. To me, that would be the polite, the normal thing to do. But no. So that's one little story from my family in regards to estrangement, aka disfellowshipping. So I'm going to wind that up, and I'm hoping to get this video up today or tomorrow. And I have another video that I want to do today, because there's something else I've been doing today which has kept me very busy, that you might be very interested in as well. So I hope to make that video tonight as well. Okay, thank you.